Hello, I'm Stuart Rossenthal with the Beacon Newspapers, and I'm here today with Todd Smith, who is the CEO and founder of My Family Channel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us today. Todd, tell us something about your company.
Thank you, Stuart, for having me. My Family Channel is a private TV channel that allows older users, we call them analog natives, as opposed to digital natives, to interact through the TV the way a younger person might through a smaller device like a phone or a tablet. And it allows them to do a lot of the same sort of social interactions, picture sharing, messaging, live video calls, things like that that would normally require navigation and operation of a smaller device that can be confusing or frustrating, or, you know, downloading apps and remembering passwords and things like that. Everyone has, its technology is a bleeding edge. So this just runs on the TV. It's nice and big. The screen is big. It's not mobile. It's not going anywhere. And the person can sit on the couch or in a chair comfortably and navigate the system with a remote control that we just developed. And it's very simple to use.
So is this in everybody's room in a retirement community, or is it in one living room in the retirement community? Where do these people get access to this?
Great question. It's personalized and customized, so it's in each individual apartment, and it runs on any TV. So whatever TV you have will just hook into it. Now, the only caveat there is it needs an HDMI input, which, you know, pretty much any TV in the last 10 years will have. Occasionally we do see one of the old sort of box-style TVs, and, you know, we have to break the news. You know, it's not going to work on that TV. But TVs are cheap now. Yeah, so family goes to Best Buy and gets, you know, $200 later, they're hooked up. So yes, it's on any TV inside each individual's room, and then the system will serve global community information. So activity calendar, dining menus, whatever's going on in the building. And the staff can put out messages, you know, hey, we moved from the theater to the living room, or 2 o'clock event is canceled, or don't forget to come down at 3 or whatever. But the system is also personalized to each resident, so we connect the family of that resident to that resident, so all those people can also message into that TV and not all the other TVs.
So help me figure this out. I'm sitting in my apartment and I'm watching reruns of I Love Lucy, and all of a sudden, boom, messages keep appearing on my screen, right, interrupting my show. I mean, how does that work?
Okay, another good question. So let me start with kind of a meta point and then work my way down to that. So there are so many things we learned in the process of developing this that seem counterintuitive to regular digital users or people who use digital systems and live in digital ecosystems. And one of these is this concept of intrusive notifications. So, you know, I know, speaking for myself, I get blings and dings all day long, and from a variety of channels and devices. So the idea that I'm watching TV and I get another intrusive notification is a non-starter for me. But the system's not designed for me or other digital users. It's designed for a resident in an assisted living community where they're not getting interrupted all day long with these devices and these notifications. So it's actually the inverse of what you'd expect. And we've encountered so many of these sort of counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive for a digital native, but for a resident, you know, you're sitting there watching TV, you welcome that interruption because it means somebody sent you a picture, somebody sent you a message, you've got a little present from a family member popping into your TV. So we've had we have had a few users not like that feature, but the overwhelming majority actually like it.
And do they have to do anything to enlarge it or see it, or it just takes over the screen?
I usually have the remote on me, and I really should grab it. It's right over there in that bag. Can I? Yeah, I think that would be a nice.
We'll just pick it up.
Visual.
Running.
Good.
But we'll just pick it up right there. Okay. I'll edit it together.
All of a sudden, I'll just have this.
Yeah, right. You can kind of reach. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it'll work.
Okay. I'll
So do you want to just pick up and then explain?
Sure. Where did I start? How do they receive the message?
What do they have?
Rolling, I guess. um, so when a message shows up, it comes up on the TV. So you're watching the news, you're watching a show, and someone sends you a message. Message comes up on the screen that says, "Hi, Paul, you have a new message." And then you take your remote control that we've designed to be very senior friendly, and everything's usually driven with this OK button. So this one click sort of press OK to view the message, or press either the star or the TV to dismiss that message. So conceptually, it's sort of like a notification that pops up on your phone. If you don't take any action, it just disappears. And then you can either act on it or you can dismiss it. So you press OK, and that pulls up the message, or you press one of these and it returns you to what you were doing.
So where are you with this service in terms of communities in the country?
So we are based in Louisville, Kentucky. So we are installed in assisted living facilities in and around that region. We're in about 10 buildings right now. We have about 1,000 users. So, and we're expanding in that market. We have mostly been focused on R&D and focus groups and pilots. And now just this year, we have crossed that magical threshold, sort of getting out of the garage and out into more of a sales and marketing mode, because the platform is solid and the users are happy and we're getting good active daily use. So we didn't want to make too much noise until we crossed that threshold. But now that the platform is solid, now we're focusing more on growth and sales. So we're hiring people that do that well.
And do you have plans to make this available for people in their own homes, or does it have to be part of a community that bought the whole system?
Absolutely plan to get into the homes. We view senior living as our sort of proving ground and our launch pad. Being in Louisville, as you probably know, there is a very deep aging care industry ecosystem there. And we have a lot of chains that are based in Louisville. So this is sort of the world that we came out of. So we it's a small community, everybody. So it was sort of a natural place for us to launch from, but quickly sort of realized that the big idea of what we've done is sort of created this senior-friendly way to communicate through the TV, and that doesn't have to stop at senior living. That has wide applications in a number of verticals, another number of healthcare verticals, all the way out to just a consumer aging in place. So absolutely plan to get out into that market.
And I saw on your website there are also plans afoot to create a doctor-related channel, My Doctor Channel. Tell me about that.
Okay, really excited about this one. So this is another application of the core technology. So we are now piloting with a primary physician practice in Louisville to use our system as a way to interact and engage with a Medicare Advantage patient. So we're starting with doing predictive and proactive screening assessments. So have you fallen in the last 6 months? Falls risk, incontinence, depression, anxiety screenings, all these screenings that the doctors are supposed to do during office visits, but they don't have time. You get 15 minutes, you're in and out, he's got 30 people coming after you or next. So you don't have time to sort of dig into these proactive, predictive questions. Sorry. Should have turned that off. And it's a robocall. Oh, boy. So I'll just pick up. So you go into your doctor's appointment and you have 15 minutes and you're just going to hit the hot points. You're going to, you may have a heart condition, or you may have more serious things going on that you need to cover. So this allows the patient to, what we're seeing on this pilot is the patient feels more of a connection to their doctor. So the doctor's now in the living room, the doctor's on the TV, the doctor's asking me questions. It's automated, but it feels, like they're participating more in an ongoing day-to-day relationship with the physician instead of once every 6 months.
I think you said earlier, or I read on your site, that you also can do video chats. So most televisions can't do video chats, I don't think, can they?
Right. That's right. So that's just comes down to hardware. So our box can do a video call, a live video call, and we are HIPAA compliant, which means it can be telehealth sessions. So we have we did not make a webcam, but we can plug a webcam in to our box that we did make, and if it goes through the right HIPAA compliant technology, it can be a telehealth session.
And so you can add this box to any smart TV in the country.
Actually, it doesn't even have to be a smart TV. Our box, so we made a box that goes along with this remote. So you get basically, it's our own little kit. It's like a Fire Stick or an Apple TV. It's just a box and a remote, and plugs in an HDMI port. And so our box is sort of the brains. It's like a little computer. It runs our system, and so all we need is an HDMI input. It can be a dumb TV.
And family members from around the area, anywhere in the country, I guess, could log in through a website and get access to the TV and send messages and pictures and things that way too?
Even better, they don't have to log in. So we have a feature called Text to TV, which we have a trademark on, thankfully. The way the system works is every TV or every patient or resident profile has a unique 10-digit number with a local area code. So it looks like a phone number from that area. And the family members can send text messages to that number. And so for the family, it's just like a text, but for the resident or the patient, it comes up differently. It comes up on the TV. So text to TV is how the families interact. And then the residents can respond back, and it looks like a text.
And they respond back through what?
Such good questions. For the assisted living version, it's a one-click response. So it's a click, press this green OK button to send a thumbs up, and that just does a simple emoji back to the sender. And this is another one of those counterintuitive, that I mentioned earlier. You would think, and we did in the beginning, and you may be thinking now, that the residents would want a way to respond back more than just an emoji. But our research and our extensive testing negates that hypothesis, okay? That what we found, now this is only true for assisted living, which is a very specific use case, but in that assisted living setting, not only do the residents not want to type back, they enjoy the ease of the one click. It's like, I got it, I read it, all good, thumbs up, it's a thumbs up. And that works for the vast majority of the assisted living users. Now that will be less true the more we get out into the home. Obviously, we'll need other response mechanisms. So we are adding a talk button and a microphone to our remote, so we can do voice commands, we can do voice responses, we can do, all the things you can do with a microphone.
Makes a lot of sense. Sounds like a great system. Wish you lots of success with this, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.